My name is Joe McComb, Mayor of Corpus Christi. I'd like to introduce Lucy James. She's here at our request from the Center of Deaf and Hard of Hearing so that we can communicate with our community of those that are deaf and hard of hearing, so that everyone in the community is kept fully abreast of what we're doing in this time of weather uncertainty. I'd like to ask Judge Neal to come and make some comments. The county judge is by law and by experience he's got more experience at this than anybody else, and I think that's good for us at this point. Come to make some comments concerning what is being done on the countywide basis, and then I'll come and share with you some things on the city level, and we've got staff that will be answering some questions following that. So Judge Neal.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I appreciate this very much, and good afternoon to everyone. Let me first of all tell you that we've been on the phone all morning long and with all of our mayors here in Nueces County, including, of course, Mayor of Corpus Christi, Mayor Porter Aransas, our western mayors. Everyone is on the same sheet of music. We have great cooperation this year on preparation. We have great cooperation this year on execution. We are setting up some facilities at the fairgrounds right now as I speak to do a number of things in the western part of the county. More importantly, let me talk to you a little bit about where we are with the possibility of countywide evacuation. The city of Port Aransas has ordered mandatory evacuation for Port Aransas. That is for Port Aransas only. Mayor McComb and I will be talking about other evacuation possibilities, as well as what the city is going to do and what the county is going to do to help those who need assistance in getting out of harm's way. We have our plan in place at the county, and we've begun to execute that. I know the city has begun to lay the plans in place, but right now, what we're doing is preparing along the same lines that we've been rehearsing for years. And I can't tell you how grateful I am to all of the people, first responders, all of the elected officials, about how we are coming together to deal with this storm head on. And I thank you for this opportunity. I'll be glad to answer questions on behalf of the county in just a few minutes. I'd like to turn this back over to your mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. What we wanted to do today, and the judge mentioned we'd been at meetings, let's start at 8 o'clock this morning. If you've ever tried to catch a greased pig, that's kind of the experience that we're having. I mean, we're about ready to come and make a decision, and then we get, whoa, we got another call from the weather service, or we got a call from here, so we have to go back and reprocess everything that we've dealt with. But we just came to the point and said we've got to communicate with the public, and that's what we're doing. So what we're bringing to you is the latest information that we have. By the time you get out of here, that is subject to change, because the storm is not, the only thing predictable about the storm is that it's unpredictable. And so we're trying to bring you the best and freshest information that we have. But our game plan right now is that the city of Corpus Christi is not, we are up to and almost at the threshold of a mandatory evacuation, but we are not going to cross that line right now. We are going to, in the strongest possible terms, encourage the residents in the low-lying areas, as they say, get out of Dodge. And I'll show you on the map the areas that I'm referring to. If I could get the chief and them to step back just a minute. Anyone on the island? Anyone in the bluff? And over in this area around the Oso Creek and the Oso coming into there. The reason for that is that, excuse me, and North Beach. I'm sorry, and North Beach. The reason for that is the storm surge has gone from a predicted 4 to 6 feet to a possible 10 feet. And at a 10-foot water height, you're going to be cut off from the island, and there's a good chance if you've got that much water, you're not going to have any electricity. So you'll be on an island with no electricity, no air conditioning, no water, no anything. So we are recommending in the strongest terms that if you live in those low-lying areas that you get out, and you begin to get out now. go to a family member, a friend, somewhere, just get to higher ground. And so we're requesting that you do that. Again, this is on a voluntary basis, and I'll be very honest with you. We could mandate it, but people have to make a decision of their own. And the enforcement, I'm not going to have the risk our police and fire people going and trying to drag somebody out of the house if they don't want to go. Because our fire and police, their fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, uncles, they've got relatives and they've got family, and we don't want to put them in harm's way because someone just wanted to stay and then ultimately had to put them in a position to come provide them. Because at some point during the storm, the attempt to rescue is going to be reached, and everybody's just going to have, at that point, ride it out. So anyone that has any potential in these low-lying areas, we're asking them to voluntarily evacuate and to begin to do so now. And so there'll be some additional things in the city that are going to be happening, and I'd like to call on City Manager Margie Rose to come up and just from some logistics and some practical things about what the city is going to be doing in the interim as we face this storm as it continues to move towards the coast. Ms. Rose.
Good afternoon. So there are some operational updates that the citizens need to be aware of. The first one is in reference to municipal court. So all of the court dockets for Friday, August the 25th has been canceled, including the walk-in dockets. All of the cases will automatically be rescheduled, and the defendants will be notified of their new court dates by mail. And so for more information, you need to contact the court at 361-826-2500 or at mcmail@cctexas.com. Again, those court dockets for Friday, August 25th are canceled. Regarding the sandbag distribution, it will end at 5 p.m. today or when the supplies are exhausted. Residents can bring their own shovels to be able to expedite the process. That's regarding the sandbags. In reference to the solid waste services, we will be suspending garbage, recycling, and brush services for Friday, August the 25th due to the impending storm. Residents need to secure their trash and recycle carts from blowing away during the storm and to make sure to bag any garbage left in the carts. The J.C. Elliott Transfer Station will have extended hours through today until 8 p.m., but it will close at noon on tomorrow, Friday the 25th. Those are the current operational updates, and at this time, I would like to turn it over to Chief Rocha.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rose. I want to remind residents that the city's Emergency Operations Center is up and running, fully staffed. We have people that are taking care of issues as they approach. There was some discussion about evacuation, and as the mayor stated, we are asking people in the low-lying areas of the city, as well as in zones A and B, that want to evacuate and do not have any means, should proceed to the nearest RTA bus stop. And there the buses will pick you up and transport you to Cabanas, where, beginning at 3 o'clock, we will begin processing and sending residents to San Antonio for evacuation. Those with pets should bring pets on a leash or crate, medications, food, and current immunization records. Now, I will turn it back over to the mayor for some final words.
We're counting on the media to get this information out, and we appreciate your effort because an informed citizenry, I think, is in our best interest. And we want as many people to get the message as quickly as possible. We appreciate you coming, but I can't stress enough. Judge, did you have anything else from the
Yeah, I
county?
will in just a moment, Your Honor, please.
That we are up to and at the threshold of mandatory. But I think people are smart enough to make their decisions, and they don't need the government telling them what to do. But at some point in the storm, let me reiterate, there will come a time that rescue operations will cease, and everybody has to go in and protect their own lives. And so please don't put our public service people in that type of jeopardy. Make the decision, find a friend, a relative somewhere, because this is serious business. But the game plan that's playing out is the plan that has been practiced and practiced and practiced. And the first responders, the city departments, and everybody, we're implementing the plan. So you should take a lot of confidence that the plan is going to work. What we don't know is what the impact of the storm is, but they're saying that it could go from a Cat 2 potentially to a Cat 3. We don't know. There's going to be a lot of rain, as much 15 to 20 inches, could be 30. That's not all in one day. That's over a course of 4 or 5 days. But there's going to be a lot of water. And so we want people to be extremely careful when they're driving, going under underpasses on the crosstown. Just don't get out if you don't have to, and particularly across low water crossings or bridges. If there's water across the bridge, do not attempt to cross it. And we want the people to be informed. We want them to be safe. And so at this point, I turn to Judge Neal to make any more comments, and then we'll open it up for some questions.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. The county EOC opened up at 10 a.m. this morning. We've been in constant contact with the state, as well as as I said, all the mayors. In the western part of the county, those who are seeking assistance in evacuation or leaving, we are set up and are setting up at the fairgrounds. And with the cooperation of Robstown, the city of Robstown, and the people on the county staff, we will begin to operate that within the next few hours. We'll have a press release of exactly what time. But if you are located in the western part of the county, outside the city limits of Corpus Christi, and you think you need assistance in evacuating or leaving the area, we want you to know that's going to be set up. We've requested help from the state, and we'll be ready to operate that. I just got the word 3 o'clock, so we'll be opening that up at 3 o'clock, the same as the city of Corpus Christi. That's very important for those people who need assistance and who live in the western part of the county. Thank you.
Chief Roach or Keith Merchant, you got any additional comments?
No, I'll stand by for any.
All right. Ms. Rose, you had one other thing you needed, then we'll open it up for questions.
So the next update will be at 3 p.m. tomorrow in this room, or earlier if information warrants it, okay?
Like I said, information is changing as we speak, so we're trying to be as accurate as we can, but you may hear something different in 30 or 45 minutes, so don't hold us against that. All right, we'll open it up for questions. I see a lady's hand back here. Yes, ma'am.
Corpus Christi is an evacuation center in which we strongly encourage residents to evacuate. So there aren't any specific shelters set up. Basically what we are asking citizens to do is we're asking them to evacuate. Right, let me encourage people, those that live in Zone A and Zone B, as well as along low-lying areas, as well as North Beach, we're asking them to evacuate. The buses that we have in place will be taking our residents to San Antonio.
Zone A is the island, basically is the island. Zone B basically is Flower Bluff and the university and North Beach. Well, of course, that's along the ship channel, but the main thing where you've got the people, the residents, is the island, Flower Bluff, and then this part down here across Oso Creek, because there's going to be a lot of water coming down that, as well as some that might be pushed back in through the Calle del Oso with the rising water and the floods and the storm surge. So we just don't want you to get caught with water backing up. I'll let the chief.
Currently, the plan that we have in place is that contraflow has not been opened or exercised. We have that as a tool if we need to use it, but right now we're asking the residents from those two areas, A and B, and the low-lying areas to evacuate.
Yes, sir.
So you mentioned.
When it gets there. I don't know. There's a decision that makes that it's gotten too dangerous to move forward. I don't know whether it's gonna be at 5 o'clock or 10 o'clock, Friday night, Saturday morning, I don't know. But there'll become a time that putting someone else's life in danger, they just gotta be protected. And I don't make that call. I think the person, the police chief or the fire chief would make that call.
I think just to better understand it and use plain language is that your police and fire will be bunkered down during the event, just like the rest of the citizens will. So during the event, if you've placed yourself in harm's way, there's a high likelihood that you will not have access to public safety services. So that's why the mayor is strongly urging you to evacuate those areas that are prone to flooding or loss of electric or other services. Because us, fire and police, will be bunkered down, protecting our vehicles and equipment so that we can respond when the storm has passed, to restore services and to protect those lives at that time.
Well, we'd have to get together with the other mayors and the judge, and we'll talk about that and our leadership here on the public safety. I can't give you a direct answer on that right now. I'm just being honest with you. There's no need, I'm not pulling any punches. Those are decisions that are made collectively because we're looking out for the entire county and what our resources are. But we'll make those decisions. But that 12 feet is now what you're saying. I've not heard that.
Let me speak to that, if I might, Mayor. Mandatory evacuation triggers a lot of things that you have to do. One of the things that we learned in previous storms, that once you say we are going to have a mandatory evacuation, it triggers things on shutting businesses down, it shuts down nursing homes, it shuts down the potential of hospitals shutting down and having to move patients. It affects industry, particularly in the industrial district, where if they haven't already shut their operations down, they are required to do things once the elected officials declare a mandatory evacuation. The reason the mayor and I are hesitant is we're trying to encourage everyone in the low-lying areas and those susceptible to surge and water, get out now, without having to pull the plug and call the mandatory evacuation. We can do that. I can do it, the mayor can do it, and we will do it if we feel like it's necessary. But I want everyone to know that we're looking after a lot of things here in addition to just public safety and the safety of our people. This would create a major, major impact on the way a lot of people do business if we had to do that. And I've been there, and I know how that works. So we're asking you, help us, get out of harm's way. If you're in an area suspect that you will have rising water or anything like a surge, get out of here. Use the time to take, now we have time to do that now and do it right. If you need assistance, the city's set up, the county's set up, and we're ready to do that. But there's a huge difference in when that word and when you apply that word. Next, Dot.
Couple more questions. That's a text dot call. I mean, cars go over at 60 miles an hour, it doesn't tear it down, but I don't know. That's a text dot call. And I don't know how long. One reason we want people off the island now is I don't know how long the ferries are gonna run either. That's another text dot call, but that's pretty obvious when at some point they can no longer operate. Well, we thank you for coming. We hope you'll get the message out. We're trying to be as open and honest as we can. We're interested in your safety, and that's our number one driving force in all the discussion. So thank you very much, and appreciate the council that came. We asked them to come, even though it takes time out of their schedule, to let you know that they are behind what we're trying to do, and they're supportive, and we couldn't do this without their full support. So I appreciate the council coming. They've got things they could be doing, but they did want to express their appreciation for the workers and for the plan that we're doing. So thank you, and we'll let you know when we're going to get everybody back if we have some new information to share with you. Thank you.